I had another attack of nerves when my father dropped me off for the first rehearsal. I considered just going to the coffee shop down the street and hanging out until it was time for him to pick me up. But I was pretty sure that after a while someone would call my house to find out where I was, and I'd end up in trouble. So I took a deep breath and walked in. The cast members were being sent to a group of rickety wooden chairs that had been set in a half circle on the stage, facing the audience. Only there wasn't any audience. Just a long table at the edge of the stage where the production crew sat facing us. Cute Edgar was sitting in the center. To his right was the cranky-looking woman who had taken my audition form. Her name was Gwendolyn Meyer, and it turned out she was our producer. To Edgar's left was the girl who had handed me the audition form. She was going to be our stage manager. Her name was Heidi, and I wanted to kill her. It wasn't that Heidi had actually done anything to me. It was just that she was beautiful, and I didn't care to have anyone that pretty sitting next to Edgar. At the end of the table sat a kind of nice-looking guy with big brown eyes. Next to him was a very pretty red-haired woman. The man turned out to be Alan Bland. Yuck, what an awful name. Who had written the script and lyrics for the show we were going to do. The lady was his partner, Paula Geller. She had written the music and would also be coaching the singers and conducting the orchestra for the performances. At that moment, cute Edgar was going on about how lucky we were to be able to present the world premiere of this play, which was called The Woman in White, and was based on an event that had taken place in the very theater where we were going to perform it. "Lucky," said a husky voice next to me. I glanced to my right, where a golden-haired girl named Melissa Clayton was sitting. Melissa was a year or two older than me, but since the audition notice had specifically called for 3 girls in the 10 to 13 age group, I had a feeling we were going to end up working together. "If this dog is any good, why are they premiering it here instead of in a real theater?" Melissa continued. I wanted to tell her that the Grand was a real theater, but I knew what she meant. Who was there in Syracuse, New York, who could see our show and make any difference? So I kept my mouth shut. That didn't stop Melissa. All the time Edgar was talking, she whispered on and on about how stupid everything was. I wanted to reach over and pinch her lips together, and then ask her why she was there if she didn't like it. I found out later there were 2 reasons. 1, Melissa wanted to be a star, and 2, Melissa's mother really wanted her to be a star. It was clear she was going to be a royal pain. The good news was that the 3rd girl was none other than Chris Gurley, who I had been talking to at auditions. She had come in late. I learned later it was a habit with her, and she was sitting on the other side of me. Edgar had finished talking and was just about to pass out the scripts when an old man appeared at the edge of the stage. "Hey, Pop!" cried Edgar, jumping to his feet. I was confused for a moment. This guy seemed way too old to be Edgar's father. As it turned out, Pop was just the man's nickname. He was in charge of keeping the theater in shape. After Edgar introduced him, Pop gave a few rules. No smoking, no drinks in the audience area, no gum under the seats. Then he shuffled away to a smattering of applause. "What an old fart," said Melissa. "Shh," hissed Chris, who was sitting on the other side of me. She had kept quiet until then, but I could tell she had been dying to tell Melissa to shut up. Melissa's eyes flashed, and I knew instantly that it wouldn't be a good idea to get stuck between her and Chris any more than necessary.